Greetings and welcome to Meyer's Mega-Fictional Musings. I'm Travis. I really appreciate you tuning in. I just wanted to do a quick video, call it a reading update video. By the way, I consume a lot of content on Instagram and Twitter, Bookstagram and Book Twitter, and I'd love to hear about what people in the community are reading. I do take a lot of advice and recommendations from you people, so I encourage you to keep that up, obviously. I certainly consume a lot of content, and I just thought it'd be handy to make a 5-minute video here, kind of outlining what I'm reading, what I hope to read, what I've been reading. So this shouldn't take too long. Now, first things first, currently I am reading Moby Dick. This is with an online book club, if you will, with my two best friends and two brothers. And we decided to read Moby Dick. And this was something that has been on my TBR since I understood what a TBR to mean back in January when I really engaged with the community. I knew I was going to try and read Moby Dick, arguably one of the landmark books of all time. I knew I was going to read it sometime in 2021. So I'm reading Moby Dick. Here's my copy. And by the way, I don't know if this is accurate, but I feel like Moby Dick, there's more, prints of Moby Dick than there are any other book. There was a beautiful, big hardcover one I was going to get at the used bookstore, but this one was cheaper, so I just picked this up. Kind of a torn up paperback copy, but just really quick, I am very much enjoying Moby Dick. However, I have come to a bit of a dry spot, I guess, or just a section, and I'm on page 160 something, and it's been riveting. It's been great, everything that I had hoped for, but it is a little bit of a slog right now, and what I've decided to do is put it aside for the time being. Now, the last few months, for some reason, I've kind of been on a kick where I'm really focusing on reading just one book and getting through that, and then moving to another book, and just so one at a time, whereas before I was really reading a couple or even three at once. But for some reason, I've been just reading one at a time. So I'm going to stop that now with Moby Dick. I am well ahead of my brothers and buddies, so I'm going to let them go ahead and catch up, and maybe we can talk about the difficult section I'm at. I was loving it. I am still loving it, and I will get back to it, absolutely. But the digressions with the whales and the history of, is it cetology? In here is just a bit dry. And it's not to say that I'm not going to finish it, and I don't think this is an amazing book. I'm just putting it aside for the time being and letting my buddies catch up, and we'll get to it again later. So that's Moby Dick. Now, as far as some of my recent reads, you guys, I do want to make note of a fantastic novel I finished, and I only picked it up because it was at the library and it was on the featured reads section, so I grabbed it. Being a big Russell Banks fan, I recently read his newest novel called Foregone. Now, Russell Banks is an author that I feel like maybe not too many people know about, or at least appreciate. He's a big part of my early reading life. He would be known for novels like The Sweet Hereafter or Rule of the Bone, but I've read a bunch of his, and his most recent novel, Foregone, was an absolute blast to read. It would be in my top 10 reads of the year, I think. So it was just amazing. So I read that. Even better than the Netanyahus, which I read before that, which was also very good, by Joshua Cohen. So those are my most recent reads. However, as I said, I do plan on setting aside Moby Dick and picking up something else. And what that something was for me today was a book called Silk by Alessandro Bariccio. It was a less than 100-page, I looked online, and it was considered a novel. So I'm going to say novel, but it was the only thing I've ever read in a day. I finished this book today. I started in the morning, and total reading time for me would have been a couple of hours. And boy, oh boy, what a great little book. I picked this one up at my used bookstore. I was intrigued by the synopsis on the back, and it's a very cool look. I don't have it right now because I lent it to my father-in-law, but it's a very neat looking little thin, obviously, book. And it was terrific. I mean, totally different from Moby Dick, naturally. I feel like it was a cross between Ernest Hemingway and Kazuo Ishiguro. It's about a silk merchant in the 1800s, and he makes these journeys to Japan to get these silkworm eggs to make silk. And it was just a captivating story of forbidden love. And anyway, utterly fantastic. So I just finished that today, so I wanted to share that. But real quick here before I let you go, I was hoping to get a little feedback as to what I should read next, because as I said, I'm gonna kind of hold off on Moby Dick and let the others catch up. But I've got a few books here I want to share with you, and would love to hear some suggestions in terms of what I should hop to next. Okay, so the first one is I've heard of John Updike, obviously, before. But listening to the Great Concavity podcast, I know Matt Booker, one of the co-hosts on that podcast, really speaks highly of John Updike, and I have never read him. And I'm really trying to explore, just doing first-time author reads this year. So he's been on my radar for a while. I don't love this copy, but it was cheap. I think this is the movie version. It's falling apart, but I think I'm keen to read some John Updike, because not only Matt Booker sings his praises and this book, but Liam over at Levity Books also recently did a great video review of the Rabbit series, and he sold me. I mean, I think this would be right up my alley. So I'm excited to potentially try my first Updike. So that's option number one. Option number two, being a huge fan of Stoner by John Williams, one of the greatest books I've ever read. And I feel like many people online would concur. I thought I could try Butcher's Crossing, which I picked up right after I read Stoner. I had a gift card to Chapter, so I decided to go ahead and purchase Butcher's Crossing. So I thought I could jump right into this, and it's pretty quick, and I'm sure I will love it. So this is another option that I could do next. The third one I thought is a little background. Sorry, I'll be right up. Just making a video. So this one, this one, a little bit of context though. Every time I go and browse at my 3 bookstores here in town, the one store has them for $1. So every time I go there, I buy a book that I know nothing about, and I just buy it because I read the back and I'm mildly interested in it, or it just sounds intriguing in whatever way. So this is one of those. So I just grabbed it off my shelf. I thought maybe I could read this one. It's called Pluck. Handsome fella there on the back. This was written, I don't know, what, late 70s? I'm just looking here. So this would be an option. It says, it opens in Cambridge in the 1930s. 5 youths are held together in a bond of friendship by their admiration and love for the charismatic, sometimes reckless John Pluck. After Cambridge, they go their separate ways, but still they maintain that special relationship that formed at school around their mutual allegiance to Pluck. So anyway, I don't know, it sounds pretty good, maybe some kind of a campus novel, but I could give something new that I've never heard of a try, which is always, well, not always, but rewarding for me a lot of the time. Or I thought, last week I went to Chapters, and it being Teacher Appreciation Week there, I picked up Richard Powers' newest Bewilderment. This is getting a lot of buzz online, and I'm pretty sure this was longlisted for the Booker Prize. Anyway, I've never read Richard Powers either. I do have the Overstory, but I'm more keen to maybe start this because, again, I just feel like it's right up my alley as well, and from what I see, what it's about, I would be very interested in it, and I've heard very good things about Bewilderment. So this is option number 4. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Drop me a line with whatever you think I could start next out of these 4 while I put Moby Dick on hold. Yes. But any comments are appreciated. Hope you're doing well, everyone. Talk soon. Bye.